سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Allahu Akbar!
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel.
Allahu Akbar!
So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, and join the Hameen Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
Since day one, everybody's had a problem with me. And why is that? One simple word: jealousy. Because everybody wants to be Austin Theory. That's right, everybody wants to be Austin Theory. And all of you see the inevitable. I'm younger, I'm stronger, I'm better, and I am the unescapable. And the Austin Theory era begins now!
Theory, you may have lucked your way into that United States Championship on Saturday, but that doesn't change a damn thing. Because you know, deep down in your soul, that Monday nights belong to me. One thing left to say to you. Congratulations. Kid. Oh, what's the matter? You don't like that? You want to hit me? You want to fight me? Well, we ain't got to wait. We can do it right here, right now. Give me your best shot, kid.
You, but on the champ's time. And I'm not your damn kid.
Homeboy Shivani, and now the PWC, the Pro Wrestling Coalition, is on the air for the most exciting 2 hours of professional wrestling podcasting in the world. We're gonna put butts in seats and ears to the streets. And now, here are your hosts, Jimmy T and Kevin Panetta.
everyone, and welcome to the PWC Monday Night Machismo. I'm your host, Jimmy T, and my co-host is back. He represents Dollar Club Wrestling. He is the sexiest man in Philly. He is Kevin Sexy Time Panetta. What's crack-a-lacking, my friend? And what a Raw we had this past Monday, right? I mean, like we were saying off the air, the first hour was cracking, but I thoroughly enjoyed this Raw.
Yeah, I enjoyed that first hour especially. The first hour, there was a lot of intensity. People actually acted like they hated each other, too, and it seemed like legit, not forced.
Yeah.
One thing wrestling doesn't need is more content, so I wasn't that excited that we're getting a commercialist first hour, but they brought it that first hour. I was very, very happy with the first hour.
Oh, was it actually ad-free the first hour?
Ad-free.
You know what? I actually noticed that, but didn't actually pay notice to it. It's weird. Maybe that's why I enjoyed the first hour.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because it was like segment, match, segment sort of thing, then match, but everything seemed very well placed, if that made sense, which made it for a cracking show.
That's why it flowed so well. They didn't have the 27 recaps because there were no commercials,
Yeah, far, man. I didn't even realize that either. But, man, like I said, Survivor Series, great show, but I actually felt like Raw was overall probably better in many ways. And in some ways, it felt like a reset. And when I say reset, you start anew, right? You go from one feud to another feud. And it felt like that, you know what I mean, in many ways. And we started off, for example, with Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley. I mean, this match was alright until we went to a no contest, obviously, but
it needed a
it
no
is
contest.
what it is.
It needed a no contest. Michin shouldn't take a loss, a singles loss or a clean loss, and Rhea Ripley doesn't deserve a loss right now. I was excited that we got a dirty finish. Or a no finish.
Dirty finish.
No finish.
And what the hell's Rhea Ripley trying to do with her fucking backside, bro? Is she trying to get those cakes hanging out or what, bro? I mean, jeez.
Man, that's the beautiful cakes, man.
Oh shit, man! This chick, man, she's unbelievable. And to think she's only 25 years old, dude.
She finally found her swagger. She finally found her character. She's just not the goth girl, just does her kick in the entrance. She knows who she is now, and she's killing it, man. She
no doubt about it.
Female wise.
And as I was saying, the first match was Mia Yim versus Rhea Ripley to a no contest, essentially. But after the match goes to a no contest, post-match we get Finn Balor, Damian Priest.
Becky entrance?
Sorry, what did I do?
Becky Lynch?
Oh, yes, my bad. You're right. Let me rewind for a minute. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that. And
this the whole 20 minutes.
I know, right? What's wrong with me, man? Let's actually start. We get the show opens up with a recap of the men's War Games match from Survivor Series, but then we get Becky Lynch making an entrance and gets on the mic. She tells the crowd that she missed them and proceeds to go glad hand in the crowd. She talks to a dude in the X-Men hoodie named Bobby and says she wouldn't have her come back any other way. She tells another dude named Zachary and she's ready to go through hell, put her body on the line and jump off cages to take care of business. And there's a lot of business to be taken care of as we get Bayley coming to the ring. She calls Becky out and says when she saw her come out tonight, she thought she'd return to WWE and felt a little humbled since she's sitting with all the idiot peasants. But then she went on, and she tells Lynch to shut up and mocks her talk of putting her body on the line. Bayley wants some of that thunder, and that she's been putting her body on the line and gets no respect as Becky comes to Bob's defense, denying that he's a peasant or that he sucks. And she says people don't respect Bayley because she keeps losing and she's a loser. Lynch thought she ended this at War Games, but she'll come fight tonight if need be, as Bobby tells her to go kick Bayley's butt, and she gets going. As Dakota Sky, Io Sky, cut the man off from behind and they brawl on the steps, as Bayley joins the chase and they fight out through the back in the concourse, and the brawl continues, knocking over merch stand as security and referees finally swarm to break things up. It just felt like though Becky Lynch was kind of whooping all three of them in the concourse area, Kev.
Yeah, that was my only complaint. She was whooping all of them too easy. They didn't seem like a viable threat. I did love this segment as a whole, though. Do you think
Right.
Zachary and Bob were plants?
You know what? It's funny you said that because I was thinking the exact same thing as I was watching it. I actually think they weren't plants.
Yeah, didn't Zachary seem like he was about to say something he shouldn't have said? Or he looked like he was about to scheme something in his head. He looked like he was about to like do something dumb or say something dumb. He seemed a little unhinged, but Bob.
Yeah, no, you can tell, man. You can tell the ones that are plants, man. They're overactors, bro. Like you can tell they're probably not even into professional wrestling. They're just there, like yeah, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. It just looks real obvious. Whereas these guys, they look legit, man. Like I felt like they were just like you and I.
Yeah, I think so too. But I was wondering. I love the intensity. The crowd was deafening at this segment too. I guess they made up for people complaining that the War Games crowd. I thought the War Games crowd was fine. There were complaints online that it wasn't that loud. This definitely made up for any of those complaints there. Becky's over.
No doubt.
People were waiting for her to be a face, and they finally get to see her as a full-fledged face again. But like I said, just like you said, my only complaint is that she definitely took care of them all way too easily, and Bailey needs
way
to
too
get
easy.
back.
We got a few comments in the chat. Chris Winland, who's a regular listener and viewer every week, goes on to say, "Cheers, fellas. I really think they are missing out on not reforming the way on the main roster. Where else can they go with any of these members? Gargano, Dexter, Kansas, etc."
Oh, Chris, I was hoping so much when they showed the Candace interview segment from the past before she got hurt, when she said that you have 3 people and I don't have any friends. I thought that was going to be a hint for Indy to come help her at least have her and Indy be a team if they don't formally do the way.
I'm cool with the way, but do you have Austin Theory part of the way again? And if you do you have everyone sort of behind him, if that makes sense? Like build the actual faction around Theory?
I would have until he lost the Money in the Bank. I don't think he needs it now. I think it would bring him down right now, honestly. 2 weeks ago, I would have said absolutely he needs it. That would be his way to reform. I think it would help Johnny and everybody else out, but right now I think it would hurt Austin, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure, man. As far as Dexter though goes, like what Chris said, do you have him in the way?
No, but him and Indy were better together. Bring Indy up. That might help him out a little bit.
Yeah, for whatever reason, them two kind of like match up really well. I don't know why. I'm not saying Indy's boring or anything like that. There's something I like about Indy though. I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it, but
she has big features, like her mouth and her eyes are big features, so that she's over.
She's a bit of a horse, bro. Yeah, nah.
She's not boring in NXT. She just is directionless, and she seems to have direction with Dexter, and her over animatedness makes up for his his quietness.
Do you think we need to put more character into Dexter, man? Like add something to it? Because if you're gonna go this creeper shit, you need to go all out, man. Like, do you remember his TNA run or Impact Wrestling run?
Yeah.
That was more like that creepy shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like Johnny Curtis in NXT, just a creepy guy.
Right.
I don't remember that.
And Johnny Curtis is, fandango.
Dexter was fine in his match today. He just was too cartoony in this feud. It was a little too like Wile E. Coyote. Just a little more seriousness and less Wile E. Coyote, and I think it would help him a little bit.
Meep meep. That's what it is, right? I mean, it is. It's Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. Chris also says, "Oh well, I'm assuming this is actually Jeff. I think I'm not on my show anymore. Jeff, if that's you, first of all, it's actually Kev's show. He came up with it with Machismo just quietly. But I just want to point out, I asked you if you watched Raw. You never replied. So there we go." And Chris Willand in the chat says, "Johnny Wrestling is doomed without some sort of comedy angle. I really wonder why he went with WWE over AEW, but Triple H must like the guy." Well, first of all, Triple H must love the guy because he was holding Baby Wrestling.
Yeah.
behind, backstage on Raw. I'm sure you've seen all the pictures and shit online. And don't mind my neighbors, man. Don't get me started.
I think Triple H wants Johnny to succeed, and he wants Ciampa to succeed. So Endgame, if they don't get over on their own, they're going to bring the Way back. That's why he signed Gargano. The Way is going to be, he knows that's going to be a fail-safe. Then they can break up and feud again. He can redo that. I believe that's the only reason why they brought him back, actually, because they always have that storyline, built-in storyline.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I think Gargano is a joke, dude, right now. I can't take him seriously.
When he first came, I was excited. Now he's kind of, the whistleblower thing was stupid.
The whistleblower. So he's a snitch, essentially, right?
He's a little Italian, but he's not like a made man Italian. A lot of those Italians are snitches, so I didn't mind it for that. But they didn't present it well. That whole feud with Miz and Dexter sucked.
Chris also said in the chat, Dexter should turn on Gargano and stalk Candice, but that's not very PC for today's fan base. So his longevity is a mystery, but he finally got his contract. Yeah, and they were real $100 bills, by the way, that he was giving out to the kids, man. Yeah, look, first of all, Candice, I can't stand her, dude. Straight up.
I thought she was really good last night.
Man, she fucking... How do I put this? I don't want to, like, offend anyone, but, like... She looks like a mother, dude. Do you know what I mean? Like, since she's had the kid, she's too petite, too small.
She's a tad on the side, maybe because she was against Dakota Kai. It wasn't as glaring. I think she does need Indy Hartwell. I think it would help her a lot if her and Indy were teaming up again. Getting the tag division would help her immensely. But I thought she looked fine in the ring yesterday. It was believable, but it probably was because she was against Dakota Kai, who's also a smaller wrestler. Evil replaced. What's up, Jeffy?
Evilly replaced. Well, I sent you a text on your personal number, Jeff.
I know. I responded 40 minutes later, which, I mean, for me, is
I'm using my phone.
But for you, that would be like, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. That's such a quick response.
Character, man. Well, you're here now, Jeff, so you're not replaced. Relax. Right. Calm down. You're here. You and obviously you've watched Raw, thank God.
And I brought Johnny the Jobber and Rockhard Jim Prendy with me.
Yeah, I asked.
Just expand the screen. They're sitting on my couch.
Yeah, why have you got widescreen? Why have you got a widescreen? And what's up with that?
Because I'm more
feels wider. Look at this guy. He's taking over.
I have no idea why.
Doesn't he look more wide, Kevin? Or am I seeing things? Or are we all looking more wider suddenly?
It's probably because you only have two guys on usually. Maybe because of the 3-man screen. I don't know.
No, I mean, technically, like, hey, look at that. Even though these are not war games, but see, I like that one. I like this one too.
The fog is getting thicker, and Jeff is getting wider.
Well, Jeff, yeah, you are getting wider, but so am I.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. We're German now. But Jeff.
Yeah.
We're just talking
right here, by the way.
Yeah.
Yo, raps, exactly. Where is Johnny the Jobber?
He's on our show every week again now. He's back on Thursdays.
So he's back.
Oh,
he's back.
Got his pants back.
Yeah, he got his pants back.
Who's that on Facebook? Oh, who's on my show? Is that you again, Jeff?
It's probably the same thing, unless somebody else said the same thing. Unless somebody's copying my messages.
Who can it be? Well, someone's... Anyway, who cares? Jeff, what'd you think of Raw, man? You thought it sucked? We were just talking about what...
I thought it was
really
terrible.
Even the first hour? All the way?
I thought it was a horrible show. And the funny thing is, like, last week, like, the whole internet was like, Raw was terrible. And I watched it, I'm like, I think it was that bad. I thought it was okay.
Wow, I'm surprised. I mean, really? You thought it was that bad? I was just saying to Kev, I felt like it was one of the better Raws in a long time for me, man.
Oh, my goodness. That thing with Becky and artificially going out into the crowd and pretending like she's paying attention to people while she's not looking at them reminds me of when I met Jesse Jackson at the Tennessee Democratic Convention. Someone introduces him to me and he goes to shake my hand and he's looking the other way.
Really?
That's how Becky was with it. And then she's beating up all three of Damage Control in the worst brawl I've ever seen. It was hard. There were like 5 parts of Raw that I found remotely entertaining. And I will acknowledge the final match was good, but it didn't need to be 40 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It went way too long, and we'll get to that. I mean, yeah, it was great, whatever. But for me, that I don't know, I lost interest in the match because of it going way too long. But that's
You
just
had
me. I
20
don't know.
minutes
Man.
of the Miz versus Loomis, which you knew who was going to win. You had 20 minutes of Mia Yim versus Rhea Ripley, which nobody in the crowd cared about, and then it turned into a brawl, which still nobody cared about, but they cared more than then. But worse than that, 20 minutes of Candice LeRae against Dakota Kai. I mean, talk about Triple H and bringing. I mean, Monday Night NXT was sensational.
Monday night.
But I do have an idea for Loomis, because that's where I decided I want to be on the show. Without it being the way, put him with Riddle. Oh, this Elias Riddle thing doesn't make any sense. But Riddle being the doofus and Loomis being as deadpan as he is, it could be a lot. It could be very broserweighty, and that works strangely in NXT. And I'd at least give it a try.
I don't know about that, man. That's just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. You know what I mean,
Well,
Kev?
that's what they do. They just
Riddle-
stuck him with Elias. It's the same
Riddle
thing.
has weird charisma
True,
with
but-
people. I'd have to see it. Like throw it out there as like a test run and see if they have anything that works. Might be tough without Dexter talking. But I guess they would do the bit where Riddle keeps asking him questions and just pretends that Dexter answered. Even though Dexter didn't, he just assumes the answer. Like, hey, we teamed up today. Oh, it's awesome, man. When hit my box, hey, even though Dexter never answers, that's what they'll do. Yeah.
Pete Dunne almost never spoke.
True.
And by the way, Loomis at some point does need to speak just a little. I mean,
He does, right?
Even on NXT, he said "I love you" or "I do" or whatever during the wedding. I mean, so we already know even in kayfabe he can speak. So I mean,
Yeah. So like I was saying, they did Wile E. Coyote with him earlier. That's a Daffy Duck sketch they're gonna steal now. It's gonna go from Wile E. Coyote to Daffy Duck.
Oh boy, man. Jeez. Yeah, I think Dexter does need to talk though. I think Jeff is right. He needs some sort of substance, man. Like, we can't just have this creeper, psycho, crazy eye looking dude just. I don't know, because soon they're gonna realize they got nothing to do. They won't have anything to do with the guy, man. And it
you
wouldn't
know
be.
what?
Yeah,
If
what?
they don't have anything to do with him in the ring to get him to talk. Do like what they did with Alexa and Team Hell No. Have him go through those therapy sessions. Those are usually pretty funny.
But then you make him into a joke, though, Jeff.
He's already a joke.
They made him a joke now. I'll agree with that. Well, thank
Fair
God
enough.
he looked
I
decent in the ring. Like I know it was a hardcore match, but I was interested in that match. I know Jeff wasn't, but
Well, if he's a joke, then he's a joke, I guess. But and before we actually get into the show proper, me and Kev were discussing: do you bring the way back?
I mean, it only made sense with Austin Theory, and since they decided to go with, Austin Theory, renewed confidence, no longer a kid, don't fuck with me kind of thing, it doesn't make sense. I mean, if your next question is what do you do with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, my answer is never show them again. Put them in the Bo Dallas closet and lock the door.
come on, at least Candice and Indy could get a tag team run with
That'd be fun.
Actually, that's exactly what we're talking about as you came onto the air. I agree with Jeff, to be honest, Kev, man. Fuck Gargano and friggin' his wife.
You wouldn't give her the DIY when Ciampa's back a chance?
Where is Ciampa?
He's hurt.
What's wrong with him?
He's hurt.
Is he?
Hip surgery.
Oh, so that's legit?
Yeah.
But
Okay,
no,
all right, fair enough.
Almost everyone that comes up from NXT gets crickets. None of these acts work on the big stage because it's a big stage.
Oh, yeah, I
What a
mean,
fair point.
maybe the guys that just started there, like Drew McIntyre and Bobby Roode, until they ruined him, was a lot, like everyone. I guess they were the guys that were already established somewhere else, though.
Yeah,
Glorious.
I mean,
Shinsuke-
Bobby Roode
Glorious-
worked everywhere.
Shinsuke had a great reaction when he first came up, but he was established in New Japan.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, man, he got a pop and a half when he came to NXT from New Japan. But at the time, he was pretty hot, I felt, because I was actually watching, New Japan pretty frequently at the time. So for me, it was a big deal, and it felt like a big deal when he did come up to NXT. But
And that's because we were trained that anybody that comes from NXT was going to get buried. So they did that to us. That's why they started getting crickets. That's why I stopped watching NXT at one point. You're like, oh, I'm going to like this guy, and I know he's going to get buried. Like, I'm done with this show. What's the point of getting invested?
it's true, man. It's true. And another thing we're just talking about as you jumped on, and Kev, I was saying this to you. I just feel Candice LeRae is just so. Look at her, man. She's plain. She's a plain Jane, dude. She tippy toes when she runs in the ring. I can't stand that shit.
She's a
right?
pixie. She's flying.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, you're supposed to be a professional wrestler, not a little fucking, a girly girl. Like, I don't know, man. She just doesn't look like a professional wrestler to me. She used to seem decent a few years back on the indie scene, but in WWE, she just doesn't suit, man.
In the indies, she is decent, and maybe she could be a coach or whatever. Maybe she could teach Shotzi how to deliver the DDT and Ronda how to take one. But I mean, because they did the same move with her and Dakota, and they did it correctly. But I mean, Dakota's. I mean, I have more of a problem with Dakota Kai. She looks emaciated. I mean, she looks unhealthy. She's so thin. I mean, Candice LeRae can't really complain about her
anorexic thin.
She looks anorexic. I'm
really?
sorry. I've seen that. Yeah, I think she looks anorexic. She looks like girl needs a burger. But Candice LeRae, I can't really complain about the way she looks and not complain about Alexa Bliss. I mean, they're basically lookalikes.
But Alexa Bliss has got good, for her height, she's got like a bit of meat at least, if that makes sense.
Well,
she's got ass, man. She's got like a backside, whereas fucking someone like a Candice LeRae's she's just flat back, man.
She also has a fan base. I mean, she's got Alexa stands.
Too,
I mean, she sells those dolls. She sells shirts. She sells everything. And she's got a story, which is, she seems disinterested. Is that because she was disinterested because of, Uncle Howdy is calling to her or whatever? Yeah, of course it is. Because what else is she going to do? But obviously she's going to turn heel, on someone. I don't know if it's on Bianca or Becky, but she's got a story. What's Candice got? I mean, listen, if they are just building a workman-like jobber class, I'm all for that. I'm all for there being people that lose 6 out of every 7 matches, and every now and then they win a match so you can believe that they can.
Guys, Todd Brantley agreed with you in the comments there. He said Candice is not dollar worthy.
Oh,
yeah, I said it.
I was going to bring that up. I was just waiting for the opportune time, and fucking that's the comment of the fucking year. Because he's right. I mean,
I like her, but I did not award her $1 yet this year. So I guess.
Wow, so much for you liking her, then, Kev.
I do like her.
And last night was the cutest I've ever seen her look.
Sorry, Jeff.
Last night was the cutest I've seen her look. By the way, on the record, did not award anyone $1 on Raw last night, and I stand by my no dollar for Survivor Series either.
Wow.
Wow,
Rhea Ripley, both of them.
Sorry, she's getting Rhea Ripley is getting too butchy for me for the dollar. She's got to either show a lot more cleavage or look or get a look. Listen, what she's doing is working. It's just not getting dollars from me. Wow. But Kelly, she has some strange fashion choices, and I just can't give $1 if I think the shirt is stupid.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess it's not, getting the dollar is not the be all and end all, obviously, for women's professional wrestling.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
is.
Not like,
it's not like penis jokes, but
no. Well, or maybe it is. I guess it is the be all and end all. I mean, shit. If you can't get $1, then you ain't shit.
No,
clearly. But why would you not give her $1? Come on, man. What, she looks too butchy? Really?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you.
I mean,
Kev gives $1 to Rhea.
Well, I mean, this is 100% subjective, isn't it? So when I look at it now, I don't see someone that I'm attracted to. I see someone that I want to watch fight.
Yeah, she looks. She's got that. I don't know, man. Like she's got that kinky look about her. Do you know what I'm saying? But whatever. Anyway, at the end of the day, it's professional wrestling. She looks like a friggin' wrestler. Yeah. That's what matters. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But let's move on. Let's move on to the first match. We already spoke about the Becky Lynch segment. And it is between Michin, Mia Yim versus Rhea Ripley. And the match goes to a no contest. And the match went for a while. It was not bad. It was a decent matchup for what it was too. But for whatever reason, we go to a no contest. But post-match, we get Finn Balor, Damian Priest joining the fray as Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson right after, and the OC stand tall after a brawl as Styles gets on the mic and says he thought it was over at Survivor Series and he was wrong, but it's going to end tonight 4-on-4 right here on Monday Night Raw. Referee Eddie Orengo runs down and we got a mixed match, I guess, and everybody's brawling as things eventually settle down, and we get to a match between Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Rhea Ripley versus the OC in AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and Mia Yim. And I'll be honest, guys, and I'll tell you first, Kev. I actually thought this was a great match. I thought it was really good.
It was good because of the intensity of everyone. They actually, it seemed like a blood feud, even more than it is, It's really not really a blood feud. It's a contrived Bullet Club story, but they acted like it was. They seemed like they hated each other. AJ Styles, I haven't seen that intense in a long time. Even the first match, it's the best Mia Yim ever looked. I disagree with Jeff. I thought Meechin was getting some cheers. I heard a lot of cheers from Meechin. That's the first time I ever heard the crowd get into her at all, too.
He's getting deaf, Kev. Don't worry. He's starting to get deaf. I'm telling you, man. Because we've had these same arguments where I'm hearing certain stuff going through my television.
Wait, I have a question for you. Just pay attention. Listen very carefully. Does that sound like cheers to you?
Sounds like you're having McDonald's straw.
I'll be honest. Well, I don't know about you guys, but the McDonald's straws down here now are freaking cardboard, dude. Paper. Oh, it makes my... Anyway, I hate it, man. They fucked it. Do you guys still have plastic straws at least?
Yeah, at most places.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, but those paper straws, they were making a big surge, but I think they're going to... I mean, firstly, they don't do anything, and you can recycle plastic as easily or uneasily as you can paper, and since they're both dirty by soda, you have to clean them with hot water, which sort of which nobody does, and it defeats the purpose of the recycling because you're using more energy to clean them.
Well, I know this is not a straw show here on the PWC, but I just want to say one thing about straws, and I'll stop. Those paper straws, man, you know when you get them in the little paper packaging and you're ripping them off with your teeth and pull it out. For some reason, every time I do that with those damn straws, I feel like I'm getting my nails straight down the blackboard, man. It makes me I'm getting that feeling now. I fucking hate them, dude.
Anyway, I think raw is straw.
They should just use Twizzlers at places. Just have a deal with Twizzlers. It'd be amazing. Double marketing there.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck though, Kev. That's the problem. They want to save fucking cash with anything and everything. Anyway, what's funny? What did Todd Brandy say over here? Sounds like the sea otters at SeaWorld.
I told him I love Giselle Shaw on Impact, and he was saying she sounds like a sea otter. I love Giselle. She's hot.
Oh, he did too. He gives Giselle Shaw $1 before he gives Candice $1, and I don't even like
Giselle in the WWE. I love her.
You know what? I don't even watch Impact, and I'm gonna agree with him just because Candice doesn't get $1.
Yeah, Candice can seriously. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. Like I was saying, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Jeff, did you like this match?
Yeah, no, this match was okay. This was fine. And if it actually is the end of the feud, that's great. I mean, I didn't like how it arose because AJ didn't even make it into the ring before the ref was calling a no contest, which was weird. I mean, usually you have to make contact with one of the competitors. Like even if he tangled with Dominic, that shouldn't have mattered. So I mean, all right. I mean, that just looked dopey. That's the kind of thing that the WWE doesn't generally do. They usually have their choreography, try to make sense. Like Vince used to be a stickler for the rule. Like if the wrong guy on the tag team got attacked, it was disqualification. Now it's like, what just happened? They're both on the outside.
Yeah.
But aside from that, no. I mean, during the actual match between the two women, no. The crowd was dead. I mean, Rhea gets her heat, Michin got nothing. But during the match, I mean, whatever. It's over. The bad guys won. Yay. Hopefully it really is over.
Is there countouts in that match? Because Michin was out way longer than 10. They didn't even start to count. That was my only gripe about the match.
Who the fuck knows anymore, man? Seriously, this is becoming a thing in all of professional wrestling. But Todd asked, so who's your pick for the $1 for Survivor Series? I got Rhea Ripley. Kev got Rhea Ripley. I actually gave it to fucking Alexa Bliss for some reason. And Jeff, who'd you give it to again?
No one.
No one, that's right.
Jim Grandy gave Becky Lynch.
Ah, that's right. You actually gave it to no one?
I gave it to no one.
He's a picky motherfucker, this guy, right? I mean, shit. Anyway, let's go on to the result as Judgment Day win by pinfall via Riptide from Rhea Ripley on Mia Yim in a pretty chaotic matchup, probably even the match of the night for me. But we get footage from earlier of the Street Profits being interviewed as they arrive at the building. Montez Ford says it feels as good to be back as Byron Saxton looks, and he runs down all the things that have changed since they were on TV last when Alpha Academy rolls up. Chad Gable shushes them and says he's been here working quietly, making himself the best part of Monday Night Raw. He says he's asked for a match and they bicker as the Bloodline end up making the entrance here, comprising of Solo Sikoa, the Usos, and Sammy Uso. They get on the mic and Jey Uso says they went to war and war games and he thinks he broke his hand for real, but you see he's standing tall. Jimmy says for the first time ever there are no cracks in the Bloodline, but Kevin Owens is a little bit mad back there because Sammy isn't his dog, he's their dog. Sammy has a serious moment with Jay talking about how they haven't seen eye to eye, but how the way they embraced at the end of the match was very Usi, and from here on out, any Bloodline business they have to handle, Zayn says they're on the same page. He offers a hand and Uso smiles it off for a second before shaking it and embracing Sammy as Zayn calls Jimmy into the hug and he joins very enthusiastically. They all turn to a stoic Solo, but before he can give in and hug, Kevin Owens ends up interrupting. Sammy warns him off from trying to fight, but Kev says that's not why he's here at all. He's just here to tell Zayn that he totally gets it. He totally understands why he chose to do what he did on Saturday, because how many times through their careers has he done the exact same thing to him? So he's not mad. He can't blame him for it one bit. And he's not here to fight. It's actually quite the opposite. Since Saturday, he can't help but think that for 20 years now, their careers have been linked. But after Saturday, he doesn't want to fight, team, or ride the shows together. He doesn't want anything to do with Zayn. As Sammy says, that's fine, and he feels exactly the same way because he doesn't need Owens anymore because he has a family now. As KO says, he's genuinely happy for him because finally everyone in the WWE Universe can see just how great Sami Zayn is and to see him get the recognition he deserves, and he loves it. But it doesn't matter how many times they tell him he's in the Bloodline or he calls them family, just remember this, he's not their real blood and he never will be. As Jay steps up and tells Sammy not to worry, he's got this. Kev's just mad because he doesn't have any family around him. But check this out, if you've got a problem with Sami Zayn, you've got a problem with the main event, Jey Uso. As Kev says, he might be done with Sammy Uso to be precise, but he's not done with Jey, and he'll kick his ass later tonight. This was a long promo, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Kev, what'd you think, man?
Yeah, I loved it too. Even Sammy's new shirt, feeling Usi, that's great too.
Yeah.
I did notice Solo Sikoa has been acting more like indifferent or looking angry at Sammy in the background and stuff, and he used to be like all on him. Yeah, he's been looking. Maybe something's going to be brewing with that, or he's going to cost a match or something too. I noticed before he was like loving Sammy. I thought maybe they were even going to team up, but. Watch the background now. He seems a little more like
he has been a little colder, but I think I think his character is
right?
Just to stand there like that and look like stone to everyone. But you're not the only one that's mentioned that. Zero News made mention of it. Some other people as well. But I think that's just his character. It's just his character is the stone man.
He could have been laughing too much before and breaking, so now he's like going overly the other way to make sure he doesn't.
Could be.
Yeah, because I don't actually get the impression that he's going to turn on Sammy, to be honest. But I understand where you're coming from, though, Kev. He is more stoic, no doubt about it. But like Jeff said, I think it's just his character, to be honest.
Even in War Games, he was more like Umaga, I believe, and like he had him in the past too. I liked it a lot better if stay this way, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Todd Brownlee says to you, Jeff, you could have picked the ring announcer.
Kathy Kelly
for your
too.
dollar.
I thought about it. I was very close to picking giving Samantha Irvin the dollar. Didn't like her dress.
Jeff, or Todd, didn't Kathy Kelly look good too?
She did. I agree. Todd also says in the chat, better faction, Bloodline or the Shield?
Shield.
Well, the Bloodline only because there's more depth to them. Yeah, there's way more personality. Like for me, it feels like the Bloodline feels legit. Like they love each other. You know what I mean? They are family after all. But even with Sami Zayn, the story they're telling, like I feel like the Usos genuinely love him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Pierce Austin's in the chat saying, "What's up, mates?
What's up, brother?
Hey, man.
What's crack-a-lackin', Pierce, man? It's been a while, man. How's it going, fellas? We're good, man. We're good. We're hanging in there, that's for sure. Yeah. But like I was saying, I just feel like the Bloodline's the better faction, but the Shield is always going to be sort of labeled as one of the best factions of all time, right? I mean, Jeff.
Yeah, it's 3 world champions, you know, like you're not going to get that out of the Bloodline. Even if Jey Uso what's his ceiling? He's going to be a good Intercontinental champion one day. Maybe hopefully Sammy gets a world title. That's not even guaranteed. But yeah, they have great storylines. One of the best stories in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but they were never world champions working together. They were only world champions working apart, I think. I was actually on hiatus from wrestling during most of the time the Shield was a thing. But when I saw them, I'm just like, 2 undersized guys and one guy that looks like a wrestler. But I never really. But the thing about the Bloodline is they are in fact a bloodline. I mean, so I'll go with the Bloodline. I will say that Roman's title reign has eclipsed anything the Shield has done as a group, including Roman's 5 prior title reigns. I will say also that the Usos tag team title championships has eclipsed anything that the Shield did as a group. So I don't know. But anyway, to the issue at hand, I thought this was a good segment too. I am just really worried about 2 things. One, first of all, Kevin Owens has cut that same exact promo with Sami Zayn before, about 2 years ago, the last time they were feuding. Same thing.
Right.
It was the same exact thing. Okay, big deal. That happens. But I mean, it really was the same thing. It was just recycling. But it was delivered and it was delivered fine. It's just whenever something is good on WWE, they shove it until you can have too much of a good thing. And I really think like the Bloodline and Fioranucci thing, it's now on Raw, it's now on SmackDown, it was just on Survivor Series. It's in every recap. They recapped it twice last night during Raw. They recap it, on every show they can. It's too much. It's just like I don't need to see it that much. It needs to still feel like a treat. Now, it's like I love ice cream, but if you have ice cream 3 days in a row, you're like, I really don't need to see any more ice cream.
Jeff, you're undervaluing the Shield. They beat the Usos. They beat the New Day. They beat Evolution. They beat Team Hell No. There's much more too.
And their matches were fucking fun, usually, man. Every time they were involved in like 3 versus 3 matches and whatnot, they were some of the best faction matches.
I just saw it. I'm not undervaluing them. I didn't watch them.
Yeah, they beat the champions of the Bloodline, the longest reigning champs. So we got that right there,
True.
Well, the Usos Usos were not these Usos.
That's true, but they beat the New Day, who was the New Day then too.
And I mean, in Evolution, were a bunch of 48-year-old men at that point.
Well, not Orin.
With a couple of them with their eyes out the door.
Todd says, thoughts on Sami Zayn possibly winning the Rumble? I think Elimination Chamber is in Montreal. It is in Montreal, as a matter of fact, Elimination Chamber. And no, he's not going to win the Rumble, even though he probably, right now, if you had to have like because let's be honest, right now, Cody's almost an afterthought in many ways. I mean, I feel like once he comes back, he's not even going to be as hot as he first was when he
first came. I hear about Cody every single day. I think that there is, look, what do you call those like things where there's gas things and you need to like open up the exhaust tank to let some of the gas out? I think Cody is that steam engine, and once he's there, it's going to be. I think actually Cody's overvalued. I think the memory of Cody is like so much more than the reality. He had like 3 sensational matches. But no, it's definitely Cody, and Cody feels like more of the star. But if Cody doesn't recover as quickly and you had to do something that you know is going to get a quick pop and make people happy for a little bit in the memory, yeah, you could totally go with Sami Zayn as the Daniel Bryan underdog, or the Mick Foley unlikely, never thought he'd be a world champion kind of thing. I just can't see it. He still looks like more of a biker than he does a wrestler. By biker, I mean bicycle. But yeah, I just think it's too much of a good thing. But yeah, I like their act, but all said and told, it was probably an hour and 15 minutes of TV time was dedicated to the Bloodline without Roman or Paul Heyman.
True. Good point.
To be more honest, I think you have this won't happen either. You have a better shot of Jey Uso fighting Roman Reigns at WrestleMania than Sami Zayn.
Yeah, possibly.
That's not going to happen either. You can't go from people wanting The Rock to Sami Zayn or Jey Uso. It's not going to happen. It's just going to ruin his push.
Yeah,
do we really need The Rock right now in a matchup with Roman? I think the thing with Sami Zayn is, uniquely and what's the word? Organically.
The only way his story ends happy is if him and Kevin Owens take the tag team belts. If he can't have a happy ending with Roman Reigns involved in this storyline.
Really, the ultimate, though, happy ending is for Zayn to win the world championship.
Ain't gonna happen with him as champ. With Roman as champ.
Well, like Todd said in the chat, the Elimination Chamber is in Montreal after all, right? But do we have Roman Reigns in that matchup?
No, Roman. Well, this is the rumor that at Rumble, Roman will face Kevin Owens, and so there's not going to be a second match between Roman and Kevin Owens after or before. But I do think Sami Zayn will make it to like the final 6, maybe 4 of the Royal Rumble, but he's not going to win. But we will know if there's a turn coming by the end of the Rumble, based on what happens in the Rumble. I would just continue to ride with this. It's just, but if they keep wanting to overexpose it, then give me that turn. Give me, because I don't like being overexposed to most anything. But I just imagine all people that weren't on this show. Not that many of them are so great, but where was Lashley? Where was Omos? There was plenty of people who could have taken some TV time, and again, I feel like it's always Judgment Day, Damage Control, and now the Bloodline. It's the same. And 3 hours is too long to do that. I'd rather have them throw in 4 meaningless 6-minute matches in there just to break things up a little.
I did like the pacing of Raw, though. I won't lie. I thought it was a lot better. Chris says in the chat, without a main title to chase or hold, where does Lashley go from here, and who would you have feud with Lesnar whenever he pops back? I'd still have Lashley and Lesnar go at it right now, personally.
I assume he's still going to go for the U.S. belt. He was involved in Seth winning it and Seth losing it. As much as I don't want to see that anymore, he's above that. He definitely was involved in the finishes on both of those 2 matches. Or also could be Austin Theory losing it and then Austin Theory winning it. So I doubt that's going to be finished.
I'm going to keep wish casting that they're going to come out next week and Lashley's going to say, I bet you wonder why I wasn't on TV last week talking about the U.S. title, because I'm done with that. But I'm not done with something.
That's it, man.
And then we get MVP and almost come out, and he's going after the WWE World title. They need to break up those titles anyway. I think Lashley is a very credible counter. He's very credible to beat Roman. And if you have almost, and no one else, but if you had almost, let's just say it was the same art business, but you added almost Cedric and Shelton, they could at least fend off the Bloodline for one title. They don't have to beat them. They just need to, avoid the screw job. So that's what I'm wish casting into existence. And I did wish cast the Hurt Business into existence, even though at the time I called them the Nation of Domination 2.0. But I actually populated with the exact members of it. So this is me doing that. What was the second part?
It's the Beatdown Club. It's the Beatdown.
Who's going to play Brock Lesnar was the second part.
Oh yeah, I think Lashley and Lesnar have one more, but the thing about Lesnar is, it doesn't matter. You can put him with anyone. Bray Glass put him in a fight with Goldberg.
Well, he didn't want to work with Kevin Owens. Apparently, he pulled out his "that don't work for me, brother" card out.
But Kevin Owens it doesn't make any sense anyway. You would want it with a fighter. So maybe that's what you do to get Riddle takes a strong loss, but he looks like a real fighter, not just such a joke. That could be something where you elevate him. But it could be break glass and you got Goldberg. How about Lesnar versus Omos? That would be interesting to see that dynamic.
But you got to build Omos up, though. Nah, fuck Strowman. See, Strowman's already burying himself into a grave, dude. Like, he's such a dork, man.
Yeah, just shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry.
Right?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Stop parading like you're some fucking sex god online.
Lesnar versus anyone is interesting, but the rumor for WrestleMania is it's going to be Lesnar versus Walter. What's his name? Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther. Walter, I understood. I got you.
Yeah,
Edge would be
awesome.
good too. Edge would be good.
You could do Edge. How about Cross?
We've seen that in the who?
Cross.
But he's gonna have to destroy Cross.
No, or he's going to have to lose to Cross in
I don't see that
in a banger. I mean, you have to, like
a
something
banger?
you would like a strong style where they're both clobbering each other in the back, and they all have red welts. I mean, you could do Lesnar with anyone. Sheamus. I mean, it's not hard.
Sheamus and Brock would be awesome. I want to see that.
Yeah,
or Gunther would be great too. But
that would be
not the Intercontinental titles involved.
The Gunther feud has the potential of like a trilogy type of fucking, matchups, like just a whole series of matches. And I'd be happy as Larry to fucking watch that. That's for sure.
How about we finally get Lesnar against Mark Merrow, the feud that never happened that we all needed?
He would eat him alive. Now, then, and forever.
Mark Merrow has the spirit of Jesus Christ with him.
I know all about that. Doesn't he do all these talks these days? Motivational speaking and shit?
Him, Luger, Nikita.
Johnny be bad. That's all I have to say. Hey, he did score. Johnny be good.
Yeah, that was Dusty's idea.
That's true. And Vince apparently used to cream his friggin' panties over Johnny be bad.
I have a prediction I just want to throw into the stratosphere here and see if it happens so people can say I was the first one to think of it. WWE doesn't want to make Roman lose for a while, so they just keep him as unified champion, and then they reintroduce the worldwide the title that Dusty Rhodes always wanted, the green belt, and then Cody goes for that at one point and wins that as a third world title.
The very first world championship you talking about?
Yeah, that belt. It'll be like a new belt because they'll keep the two unified forever. They'll make it a unified belt, and then Cody new belt.
The WWF.
Yeah, the WWF one, the green one.
I'm not feeling that one.
Just put a clock on it. Put a clock on it.
That's my prediction. The way they're booking Roman, they're booked into a corner, and they gotta put another belt out there eventually.
You're gonna dig up the Pedro Morales' great grandkid, Bruno's great grandchild,
or Pat Patterson's Intercontinental Championship from fucking Brazil.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, shit. He did dig up the original IC belt at one stage, dashing Cody Rhodes. So why not go for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship?
Win the Royal Rumble and he'll go for that belt.
Why don't you go Rhea against Brock Lesnar?
What's up?
Rhea Ripley against Brock Lesnar.
I'd be down for that shit, man. But unfortunately, society won't allow it.
We didn't even get into that. They let Finn Balor get hit by Michin, and Rhea Ripley hit. Who'd she hit? She hit somebody too.
What? Wait, on Raw?
Well, she bodies from Gallows, and she's hit everyone, but usually from behind. But
yeah, it's the first time they went got each other in the ring. Pretty cool.
I don't know, but Damian Priest maybe. I mean, but Brock would have to put people over. So I mean, if you want Brock to beat someone, then you bring someone in like Goldberg or somebody who's sort of I mean, who wouldn't want to see the Miz get German suplex 17 times?
I'd love to see that.
Sign Jacob for two. Sign Jacob for two for Mania and have Brock Lesnar versus Jacob for two.
Man, if they want to make the Bloodline into a real serious fucking faction, like real dead set serious, where it could be
Hammerstone versus Brock. Sorry, I got over it.
Hammerstone versus Brock would be awesome just by the way Hammerstone looks. He's believable and whatnot. But Jacob Fatu really needs to make the jump to WWE, man. Yep. If he fucking does, even Hammerstone, you think Hammerstone, WWE would love someone like Hammerstone, dude?
You think so?
Have the wellness test.
Yeah, he's fucking gassed to the gills, that's true. But, I mean, come on. I don't think they give a shit anymore, Jeff.
You might be right. I mean, especially if it's under doctor prescription. I mean, there's certainly ways around it.
I mean, but Jacob Fatu, before we move on to Raw proper, because we've been talking, like, about a lot of other things, is he ever going to make the jump to WWE, you think? Because imagine him in the Bloodline right now. He'd be so awesome in there.
Well, he's halfway through a 5-year contract extension. How strong are the terms of that contract? Are there any opt-outs? But him and Hammerstone signed 5-year deals during COVID with MLW.
Damn, they're fools, man.
Hold on a second. I'm not leaving, but I have something that, if it's what I think it is, it's going to be worth it.
Okay. All right, no worries. Well, Kev, do you agree about Junior Fatu? And
there's got to be a reason why Vince didn't want him. There's got to be some heat.
Has to be, man. There has to be. There has to be some sort of bullshit going on, man.
Yeah, maybe he has enemies. Maybe there's rival Samoan gangs. For all we know, I have no idea. But it's.
I mean, they were all gangsters. You know, Rikishi, for example, right? Yeah. You've seen the scar on his stomach there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not from liposuction or anything like that. He actually got shot in the drive-by, man. Back in the day, because he was part of a blood gang.
Damn.
Hey, look at that.
Yes.
Look at that.
I love it. I love
it. Look at that. He got, when did that come in?
It just came.
Nice.
Oh, literally, like just now.
I just opened out the packet.
Shit.
It's a little snug. I'm gonna have to tell him it's the wrong size.
Did you notice I added in your voice the headbutt to the Jolly Rogers into our show now? I think I had the soundbite of it now. I had the soundbite.
I only listened to the Dollar Report this week.
That's awesome, man. That is absolutely awesome. Todd says in the chat, well, it's Hunter's call now, not Vince, right? I guess. I assume so. Who knows anymore?
Rock versus Quincy Elliott. Meanwhile, where's he been?
Do you know it'd be cool if they did instead of they're not getting the Miz, if they replaced the Dynasty, had the Miz sign have Alex Hammerstone and Richard Holiday as a gang and just stole the MLW gimmick? That'd be fucking awesome. Make it be the man too.
That'd be fun.
Have MJF come in with Hammerstone and all that, like part of the OG.
They should have did that in AEW. I don't know why they didn't instead of the Pinnacle.
Idiots, dude. Idiots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how good was he in that faction in MLW, man? Like, amazing. I loved it, dude. Absolutely. That was the only reason why at that time I was watching MLW. It was for that and for Jacob Fatu, pretty much. But now I just feel like they've gone cold. Hammerstone is kind of, hot and cold, but
MLW's cold as hell right now. That's why. It's kind of dying.
Yeah. MLW is cold as hell.
Yep.
Yeah, they just kill it already. Jeez. Anyway, let's go back to Raw, guys, because we went way off subject there. But we get it. We get a Candice LeRae segment in the back where she's walking backstage, and she runs into an interview. She says she hasn't been on Raw very long, but Damage Control attacked her and injured her, and she doesn't know why. So she reintroduces herself as the woman who's going to take Dakota Kai out tonight. We get entrances for our next match and finally, mercifully, go to a break after an hour there, Kev.
Yep.
Well, we come back from commercial and we get Matt Riddle and Elias are also interviewed backstage. Matt says it feels like they've been teaming for years, and Chris Farley is all over their match from last week. Elias says he sees himself more as a solo artist, but has to admit that they're pretty good. They're a pretty good duo. Riddle talks about challenging for the tag titles. Elias is clearly intrigued as the Usos roll up to call them twos. Elias tells him to put the tag titles on the line, and Jay says anytime, any place, but we still don't have a tag match, I guess. So, whatever. Anything to report, guys, about this segment, or we just move on?
I think the match is actually going to be next week on Raw.
Probably. More than likely. Kev, anything to say?
Just Elias needs to change. It's not working. It's been there, done that, and it's a lesser version of Elias. He needs to change badly.
But what do you change him in, dude? Ezekiel, come on, man. He's just a less special version of friggin' Eugene. I said it.
No. He was.
That's what it felt like, bro. Straight up.
No, not
Think
at all.
about it, Kev. Come on. Think about that shit. I don't know, man. The big Zeke. Next thing you know,
someone who would benefit from going back to NXT for a while and
for sure
holding that title for 6 months or something, and then coming back. I don't know.
But bill him as a badass, man. Like, just have him like
Get rid of the jeans, too. Like he did that for years. It didn't work.
yeah. I don't know, man, but I don't know if it's totally his fault, but he's really hasn't been given anything half decent. But do you think Ezekiel, for example, Jeff, is just a less special version of Eugene?
I don't know.
Think
what
about
it. I mean, it was clever for a little bit. I really did admire how Elias actually physically changed his body and now has changed it back. I mean, it's really pretty amazing.
Sure.
That kind of dedication deserves something. I mean, that's like the Robert De
sure.
Niro award. How he would get himself really fat to be Capone, then he get himself all lean and wiry for Cape Fear and shit.
I couldn't do it, man. If I was trying to put on weight or the other way around, I end up fucking just staying that way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you were getting paid $20 million to play a role, maybe that would be the right incentive.
True, but, there's the incentive exactly.
And Raging Bull, but anyway, I don't know what to do with Elias. The problem is that with the brand split and with there only being one world title, there feels like there's less things to pursue, but the rosters still feel a little bit small to me. So, like, even if you brought something back like the European title, it seems like silly. But if you did, like, maybe that's something he could, or if there was instead of the stupid 24/7 belt, if you brought back a hardcore thing, that's something he could do. He's always got a guitar, he's always got a weapon. I mean, that could be something he could be. And if he does it well, like Crash Holly did and Hardcore Holly did, then you get over it. People respect you. Because nobody cared about Hardcore Holly before that. He was washing off the spark plug,
dude. Exactly.
For a while. Then he got the hardcore, and then he got the badass reputation of being like the locker room, correctional officer and all that stuff, And
well, he's been known to stiff a few guys, man, over his time. So,
yeah. But nobody cared about that until he established himself as the hardcore. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Elias because I don't think he's got much personality. This is his character. I mean, he's been doing the same thing for 8 years.
He's very professional with his personality, if that makes any sense. Like, he's very
I would think in the ring his like moveset was better as Ezekiel too. He was quicker, he was more life to him, more energetic.
But he was a dork though, dude. He was a complete dork.
Most of the crowd's a dork. They loved it. They just didn't have an end game to his story, the brother's story. It just got dragged out too long. That was the problem.
And that's what I don't understand. How do you go into, like, I want to know how these guys think. How do you go into a program without an end game?
Well, because Vince started it. That was before Triple H.
Still, have an end game. Whoever's fucking booking that shit. Like, you don't just go there and, we'll figure it out.
Maybe that was the end game. He gets injured and comes back as Elias.
It probably was.
I don't know. Elias, to me,
probably
seems
was,
like
for sure.
He's like the heavy in a group of 3 or 4. He's not the star. And when he was Ezekiel, they were trying to make him the star. When he was in with this thing with the Riddle, it's a duo. I don't know. I feel like Ezekiel has a lot more Arn Anderson than Ric Flair in him.
Arn Anderson, that's a big. I mean,
Arn Anderson is much better than Ezekiel ever was.
Much better, bro. Come on, that's a bit of an insult, bro. Come on.
I mean, in the faction, like his role in fact, he'd be more like an enforcer. One of your.
Hey, the enforcer's the number 2 spot, dude.
I have him more as like a Paul Roma, like 4th guy of the Horsemen, as Ezekiel, and Elias not as any.
I'd have him as the Mongo of the Horsemen, and even then.
Well, it depends which Horseman constitution you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about the shittest Horseman.
I mean, Arn was number 2 when it was Flair, Arn, Tully, and Ole. But who was number 2 when there was Luger there or Wyndham?
With Luger. Oh yeah, true. Because that was in WWE at the time.
Mongo, Dean Malenko, all of those.
Barry Windham. Barry Windham would have been the number 2.
Right. And then Arn would be like the number 3. That's more where I'm seeing. Anyway, I'm just saying he'd be more role than Usos or even Sammy.
Well, I mean, Solo is essentially the enforcer of the bloodline, right?
Right. So that's where I would see him like as a backup for someone. And he loses important matches, but he beats lesser important people. He beats like Matt Taven and Mike Bennett when they bring them in, and Saul Renaro. But he loses to, I don't know, whatever. Pick somebody who's mid card relatively important.
Chris says in the chat, Damien Sandow should return as Zeke, and then Elias Story can get over as a team or feud or both. It would have worked, but unfortunately they didn't pull the trigger.
Well, I really don't think Aaron Stevens wants to wrestle. I mean, his whole gimmick in NWA now is that he doesn't wrestle. He's been in one match and it was like reluctant, and he's like with May Valentine, and I think he's also the head booker for UWN.
He is. He's the head booker. I think even in NWA too, dude. At the moment,
who knows? Nobody.
WWE money might persuade him a little bit. And like, would you want to wrestle if you're with all the injuries and stuff?
But does WWE want him? I feel like they don't rate him, dude, at all.
They don't like him.
But him, that could work because he's got enough of a personality to carry Elias. So if he's like Ezekiel's back and everyone's like,
yeah, no, I agree.
That absolutely would have worked. Or they could have, when Elias came back too, they could have had Aaron shave and be Ezekiel and Elias be Elias. Either would have worked either way.
Fucking hell. Look, whatever, they screwed it up by having no end game, but that's WWE for you. But let's go back to Raw, guys, because we got another matchup. It is the Alpha Academy in Chad Gable and Otis versus the Street Profits in Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. The Street Profits end up winning by pinfall with a frog splash from Montez Ford onto Chad Gable. Did Montez look ripped, though, or what, Kev?
He looks great. They look good as a team, but they need a change. Both these teams need a change.
Dawkins starting to look like a bum, though, next to Montez a lot these days, bro.
I think he's getting bigger, too, but he's got to change the diet then, It's like you got to change the diet if you can't just put on the mass without depth defining it, He's
but
probably
he's still very
out.
athletic. Oh,
yeah,
no, for sure.
Yeah, he's got to tighten up a little.
Yeah, he's very loose, for sure, man. You know what I mean? Especially
Montez just looks like a star, though.
Yeah, man, he's just all class, bro. Like, how can you hate the guy? Like, you just look at him, and you can tell there's something about him. Like, if he just walked in, if you were just some random person that's not even into professional wrestling, but say you're in a store somewhere or wherever, or in a room, and Montez Ford walks in, you will know he's somebody, even if you don't know who he is. He just has that presence about him. Jeff, do you agree?
I do. I mean, both these guys are 6'4", 6'5". They both look like there's something. And I actually think that Dawkins is slimming down, but I think he's also losing muscle at the same time. For a while, he was bulking up muscle. I don't really know what's going on, but they work together as a team. They have a pretty good moveset. Everyone's saying they need to split. I don't know. I've been hearing this for a long time. I'm not really sure what they do. I mean, unless you're going to do like a Hurt Business where Montez Ford is second to Bobby Lashley, and then in 9 months he turns on him like The Rock did, and Bobby Lashley's like the Farouk. I mean, that might work. But poor Dawkins, he's going to be in Nowheresville because he'll be like Elias.
Yeah, I'm afraid for him too.
I mean, you need to find your new Mick Foley to find your new job squad for the Elias, Baron Corbin, Dawkins, and the Alpha Academy. I mean, or Ali or something. It's like what's the acronym for "They Have Nothing for Us"?
AEW.
It would be then. They have nothing for us.
Toss is in the chat. The island of irrelevancy.
AEW Dark.
That's right.
Ring of Honor.
Upside Down Land.
Ring of Honor. That doesn't even exist, Kev. What is that? That's not even a thing. Anyway,
go to Ring of Honor too. Let them go. The guys that.
Yeah, it's good to see them back. Good team. I don't know what happens. I mean, if you ever want to break up the bloodline or their grip on the title, they're a very credible team to take that mantle.
I agree, but
they're good, but I get more Killer Bees off of them than Harfound.
Oh, come on. Hey, I was a fan of the Killer Bees, man, back in the day.
Then what are you all coming on about?
Anyway, we come back from commercial though after that segment as we get Austin Theory making his entrance and gets on the mic. He asks who looks stupid now and says he doesn't want to be called a kid now that he's beaten Bobby Lashley and Seth freaking Rollins at the same damn time and become a 2-time United States champion. He says everybody's jealous and wants to be him. And then we get himself coming to the ring in the most obnoxious, weird... What the fuck was that, Jeff? Seriously. What was that?
I don't know. It was like clearly late, except for the shorts. I mean, it looked like a woman's outfit.
It was a women's outfit. I mean, thank God he was wearing shorts underneath, dude.
I don't know what he's trying to do. I really don't know. I would rather he just got an obnoxious robe and acted like Ric Flair. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no. Starts on the helicopter. Laughing.
Well, you don't do the helicopter. I mean, basically you could do Bobby Roode's glorious gimmick. I mean, you know, whatever it is.
Or he can be Ravishing Rick Rude and tell all the sweat hogs how ugly they are.
Except he doesn't have the physique anymore.
Todd says you could say he looked outlandish. Or you could say he looked kind of poofy. Let's be honest.
Right, don't insult Zicky Dice that way. Zicky Dice at least has a look. Yeah.
Brownie points if you get the reference. Hence why I said poofy. Just quietly. Shout out if you get that reference.
it was a choice. Looked like Darby Allin without the goth.
Or did he look like what's it called? What's that thing's name in AEW? Sunny Kiss without the makeup.
That thing.
Oh, that's the wrong pronoun, buddy.
Oops, my bad.
That thing.
I forgot his name. That's why I said that. That's legit.
Oh, little thing that was supposed to do it. But anyway,
I didn't mean to put it that way, but damn.
I mean, it did look like Seth cross dresses, and he looked way too comfortable in that outfit for my tastes. You know, obviously, I represent all things Dollar Club, which is very macho.
You see the meeting where Nikki Bella had the same outfit?
Well, I would have rather she worn it the same way he did. Meaning buttons open.
You know what, guys? I dare say, is he the only guy that could get over a friggin' skirt and people still cheer him and think he's cool?
Big Vito, man.
Roddy Piper says, "Hold my beer from the grave."
Todd Bradley says, "Don't worry, everyone has forgotten Sunny Kiss too." Wink, wink. Anyway, I think he's... Yeah, I know you said Vito. I mean, what's his name do it too? Saturn,
yeah.
Right. Saturn, he made the dress look good on him, right?
What about Raven?
You know what I mean?
Didn't he wear like a
That's a kilt. That was a kilt.
Yeah, but still.
I mean, that's just, that's like saying the...
If you're not Scottish,
the headbangers.
If you're not Celtic, it's a skirt.
Well, yeah, it's true. But what about the headbangers? They were doing it.
True.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Same shit though, it's cute.
Well,
but anyway,
yes, other people can get a skirt over.
No, but you know how there was a stage where like all these celebrities were wearing legit fucking dresses?
Yeah, right now, like Machine Gun
Kelly.
Right now,
yeah. Like fucking seriously, what's wrong with these people? Anyway, my point is, I can see Seth Rollins getting to that outlandish and still be over, man. I don't know why, but I mean,
the last time it was in to be wearing dresses was Greek and Roman age with togas.
Tunics?
Yeah, but see, tunics? Right, but what? Sorry, Kev?
Tunics?
Look, to answer your question though, Jeff, quickly, the thing is about the dresses, with the Greeks and Romans and all that, even the fighting dresses, they looked kind of badass though, dude.
Well, I mean, no one had invented pants yet, or at least not in that world.
You would have thought pants would be invented pretty early.
The Scythians introduced pants to the West because they did war while riding on horses. They had cavalry. There was no cavalry in Europe yet.
Interesting. I actually should look into the history of pants. Have you actually know the history of pantaloons there, Jeff?
It was to protect your, this whole area, not just your junk vessel, your inner thighs from chafing.
High heels were invented for men so they wouldn't get their pants in the mud in the rain puddles.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Aristocrats, so they wouldn't get their pants wet in puddles.
Aristocrats. Aristocrats, more like... anyway, let's just move on. we get Austin Theory making his entrance and gets on the mic. Wait, I already said this, didn't I? Or did I? Did I talk about this yet? I did. Yeah. Anyway, we get... So I said the whole thing, Theory asking what happens when the future makes you look like the past. Anyway, the good point line. Is it was a good line. I actually thought Theory looked very good in this segment. Just don't call him kid, Jeff.
I wouldn't.
I mean, Kev, 25 years old. Is he a kid?
It reminds me of Back to the Future when Marty McFly gets called Yellow.
You know what I noticed? You know what I noticed, dude?
What?
HD it's funny, watching shit in HD and whatnot. Is it just me? But his eyebrows are fucking bushy as shit, dude. Like they stand out, man, for me for some reason.
He's just squinting more. I don't know. So it's more like that's probably why you notice it. They're not when they're straight. You probably can't tell that they're all like bushy. So when you're squinted, it looks a little more like because he's trying to look pissed off, so they're protruding a little more just because of his face.
I don't know, man. He just seems a little different, but I like the change of attitude, if you want to call it that. At least he's taking shit way more serious. But I just don't understand how you cashed in only for him to win the bout. Anyway, whatever. Apparently, have you seen the dirt sheets, what they're saying about Theory? Now people are saying, see, Triple H is not burying him. But guess what, guys? Now they're saying they're burying him still. Because he got the United States Championship. Because Triple H received so much backlash that he was forced to give the US Championship straight back to Theory. Really?
I wish that we had so much influence over Triple H, then I wouldn't have to see Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. And fucking his wife, just quietly.
You're fucking his wife?
No, I knew you were going to say that. Anyway, let's move on. We come back after that segment to a Miz runs into an interview and refuses to answer questions. He admits he's holding a bag of money but claims he re-injured his hand and competing would go against any medical professional's advice. Adam Pearce then rolls up to tell him he's fighting tonight and he taped up the wrong hand. No matter what Miz says he's having the match tonight, he gives in and says Dexter hopes of becoming a WWE superstar will be over and Pearce will be hearing from his lawyer. Kev, were you pumped to see this leading into the Dexter Lumis versus Miz matchup?
I was actually excited for this match just because it's going to end it finally, this feud finally. And I haven't seen Dexter wrestle in a while, so I wanted to see what his moveset would be, if it'd be any different, if it is still going to be a Wile E. Coyote moveset or more serious. And I was glad it was more serious,
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, he did seem more serious, more slow, more methodical with what he was doing. That crab walk, whatever the fuck he does, what's it called again?
I forget what he calls it.
I thought it was, who cares? But anyway, he's got to stop doing that everywhere, man. Like, seriously.
Yeah, almost fell on his head.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff, what'd you think?
Of which part?
I'm talking about the backstage stuff and the match.
The backstage stuff? I don't know. I mean, it just seemed derivative. I mean, I know all wrestling is copying, but I mean, didn't we just see in NXT somebody, showing X-rays of the wrong arm being injured?
Yes.
And like they're saying, and like you said, and like he's like, your left arm was injured, but that's an X-ray of your right arm. How do you know that? Because the R is right there. I mean, it was done better in NXT. I just feel like it was a rerun. But listen, if this is over, they're done. He got his money. He's a face. Swell. Gargano to the Miz. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more of the same. But Lumis needs to move on to something else. I don't know.
But where? There's nothing to do with him. I wouldn't even know how to book him right now, unless you go full stalker mode.
That's the problem. Is that WWE has no mid card. Like nobody's working the mid card.
True. There's a big gap between the high up the mid card is becoming the top end.
Everyone's the mid card except for Roman.
Except for Roman, right? And Brock and
you need to get some tag teams feuding each other. You need to get some low card people feuding with each other. I mean, that's why there's nothing for you know what to do with Elias. Don't know what to do with Loomis. Don't know what to do with Baron Corbin. Don't know. You know, I mean, you either have the people at the top of the card or you have almost killing people, and you know, and then there's nothing else, and that's what's missing. I mean, you know. I mean, what do you have Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode on payroll for if not to be in mid-card feuds?
Well, Roode was hurt. Oh, I got you.
He was.
He's coming back as Glorious, so he's got a chance.
Which is fine.
Well,
that's
Glorious.
fine. It's perfect.
Glorious holes.
Glorious!
WWE is always copying AEW. They have no originality.
No, always copying AEW. Always. No originality. Even to the point of their promos were taken from last week's Dynamite. I mean,
you know, Dolph means swerve in German.
Does it?
No. No idea.
Oh, wow. It'd be funny. The funny thing is, Dolph's not even actually German heritage. He's Hungarian heritage. But anyway, who cares?
Oh, good loss there, because this week on Garden of Doom, the podcast is Who Are the Huns?
Whoa, there
Attila.
you go. There you go.
There will be a
shout outs to all my Huns out there. Just don't say it to a Scottish person.
Okay.
Whatever you do. It's actually derogatory. It's a derogatory term. But anyway, Dexter ends up winning via submission with the silencer, earning himself a WWE contract. Post-match, Loomis signs a contract and Adam Pearce gives him his bag of money as Dexter walks along the front row and hands money out from the bag until Miz recovers and blindsides him. He takes the bag of money back and yoinks a bill right out of someone's kid's hand as Johnny Gargano runs down and lays him out with a super kick. Gargano takes the money and returns it to the kid and shares a thumbs up with Dexter as Dakota Kai makes an entrance. This is just childish shit for me, and I just don't care. Kev, do you care?
I was for the kids, you know, it was real money, like Jeff said.
Oh no, that was cool. Yeah. That's cool. That part's cool. I'm just talking about this Gargano, Dexter.
Nah, this brought. I mean, Jeff already had Gargano low to begin with. I liked his start, and this whole Miz thing with him has been trash, and hopefully they can make it interesting. It's not interesting. I agree.
How do you give money to some kids and not to all of them? I mean, first of all,
yeah, I know that's true.
I mean, he missed a lot of kids there. I mean, so I have a feeling that that wasn't real money. It's like WWE money. Like it's probably like 10% off at the vendor desk or something.
There was actually a kid, funny enough, who seemed like he was a bit, clued on, where he was looking at the note and the camera's sort of like not on him directly, like they were panning to the Miz, whatever, but you could see what was going on in the background. The kid's looking at that bill and it's like, but he's checking if it's real. Like, legitimately he knew, like, to check if it was fake or not, and he's just sitting there looking and he's like, it's real.
The Secretary of the Treasury doesn't have their signature on it. It's not real.
I heard reports that it was real, but we know how reports are in the wrestling industry, so we're not sure.
I mean, I don't know who to believe less, the wrestling media or the wrestlers themselves, because apparently FTR for the second year in a row has no idea when their contracts are up. I mean, it would seem to me that,
apparently now it's 2023, Jeff.
Yeah,
right,
Jeff William Regal doesn't know either. Alice Malachi Black doesn't know.
Now,
he's a Malaka, straight up.
The only way I can reconcile this is that they do have certain terms, but there's company options in them, and so they don't know if the company's going to pick them up, and that sort of happened with Brian Cage. So I could see that there are 3-year contracts, but the company has 2 1-year options, so they think it's up, but then it's not up for another year, and then it's not up again. But Regal's was only a 1-year contract, but it could be a 1-year contract with 2 options. But even then, I mean,
I'm hearing a 3-year contract possibly, Jeff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A 1-year contract with 2 company options can be considered a 3-year contract if the company wants to keep you.
Hey, do you guys hear the other dirt sheet news? Roman Reigns was visibly mad that his eardrum
Kevin
almost
Owens
got popped. In other news, I stubbed my toe and I was visibly mad too. Of course he's going to be fucking mad if you hurt his eardrum. Freaking dumbasses.
I guess Kevin Owens getting buried now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't see him win a match on the main event last night. So, I mean, that's the wrong way. Well, according to the IWC, that would be buried.
Some of the shit that gets reported these days is just ridiculous, man.
News is so slow, they just need to make something up. Like, oh, he was visibly mad. They have like a friend in the catering, you know, like
He comes and goes, God damn, that hurts. Ah. Roman Reigns was visibly upset.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Fuck. I know. I don't remember a time where the dirt sheets were this bad. Like, if you go back to the 90s, the late 90s, they were never this bad. Now it's just...
Well, the competition is crazy. There's like 2,000 wrestling podcasts. There's another 500 YouTube shows that are on podcasts also. And then there's like and as far as dirt sheets, well, there's got to be probably like 3 or 4 dozen of them. I mean, there used to be 3.
Yeah, you got to get that $7.99 a month. So you got to beat everybody else. You need clickbait, you know.
Yeah, you need to fucking put in work, literally, these days, just to get noticed.
Pay $7.99. The first thing they do is blast it because they think they have inside information to get followers. So it's like, I don't know. It's like idiots chasing idiots, and I hear you people. There have been plenty of times I've been in that idiot train, and there'll be plenty of times again I'll be in that idiot train.
We're not journalists though, and we're not charging.
Well, we're not charging, and we're definitely not journalists, but neither are they. I mean, that's the thing people need to understand is that the wrestling media are not journalists. If you get business reports from Forbes occasionally, but there's no one is actually doing investigative journalism. They're doing opinion, and you know, their sources are their friends or whatever. So they're doing semi-journalism. They're doing journalism like Tucker Carlson does journalism. You know, it's all opinion. You know, it's like the news channels in prime time. But it's even a little bit worse than that because it is, you know, like TMZ. But TMZ actually has journalists. I mean,
yeah, true.
Start that way. Yeah, they do now.
Well, guys, let's go to everyone's favorite female wrestler once again. It is Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai. Your 2 favorite girls, Jeff. I didn't care who was going to win this. I just didn't give a shit, like I was saying all night. Candice LeRae, though, ends up winning by pinfall with an avalanche neck breaker. Whoopity whoop. Don't care. Jeff, I'm sure you don't care. And Kev, is there anything to say?
I cared. It was the best Candice has looked on the main roster. Dakota, it was a good match. It was too long, though. Went a little bit too long.
Yeah. I just didn't give a shit, man, personally. But we come back from commercial. We get a video package recap of War Games as we see Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Bianca Belair backstage being interviewed. Bianca says they've been better physically, but mentally it's all good, and she's just glad it's all over. Damage Control thought they could take out Becky Lynch and take this division over. Well, she's held the division down, and all of Damage Control's plans have backfired as Asuka enthusiastically chimes in, saying, whatever she was saying. But Alexa is distracted and half-hearted as Kevin Owens makes his entrance. And we move finally to the main event. But before I go there, anything to report on in these segments, Kev or Jeff?
Yeah, this is what WWE needs to do from now on, all wrestling shows. Real shows show a recap when the show starts. In case you missed last week's episode, Game of Thrones does it. Netflix does it.
Right.
Just do it one at the beginning of the show, and then stop the fucking replays. We watched it. Don't insult our intelligence. Move on. You know, do more like the crowd stuff. Becky in the crowd if you need time to fill. The crowd got hyped, you know, do that kind of stuff. Less recaps. Once in the beginning, show the whole recap from the whole fucking week, every show. Have it be 3 minutes. It doesn't matter. And then go right to your show and get rid of the recaps.
It is obnoxious as hell. You're right. There's a reason they do it. You see the trademark and copyright assertion at the end of every hour, and that's because at some point somewhere, or maybe in some parts of the world, they repackage these as 1 hour shows, and so they put the recap on there. But it's obnoxious. You can edit that back in if you needed to or whatever. Anyway, it's you know, it's not fair to the main audience. Me, it's terrible. But as far as the segment you were talking about, I like whenever Asuka talks nonsense, even if it's happy. I prefer when it's angry nonsense. And Alexa looking completely indifferent and spaced out and not exactly happy. And so, you know, is she not happy that all talk is about Becky, not about the rest of them? Is she distracted because Uncle Howdy's whispering to her. I mean, that at least is interesting. That's the beginnings of a wrestling story, or is it the continuation of a wrestling story? Don't really know.
Definitely continuation. Right.
So that's one way, but it could also be maybe Alexa's jealous of Becky, and that keeps Becky out of the title picture for a while. I don't know. Whatever it is, that was interesting. It doesn't take a lot in wrestling to be interesting, so that was interesting. Bianca needs to learn how to do different promos. She always sounds the same.
Oh, the Moth did show up for a split second behind Alexa's head too.
I know. Firefly down.
As Chris was saying in the chat, he goes, "Did you guys notice the white moth flash as Alexa was on screen?" You know what? I actually initially didn't notice. Look, I must have not been looking at the TV at the time, but it makes sense anyway. I think she's going to be straight back in with Bray Wyatt's little crew, whatever it's going to be. But
I thought they were going to do more of that. Remember when I think it was Dexter was banging Miz into the Tron on the side of the ring, and it kept. I thought at some point maybe they'd put the Firefly down there, the upside down moth in there. I thought that might be cool, but maybe they'll do it in the future. But that's one thing I was hoping to see and didn't. But I guess there really was an opportunity for it last night.
Yeah, I would like to see that too.
I hate when they do that with the OLED screens, right? Where, like, it's clearly fake, right? The one thing is, we all know they're OLEDs, so that shit doesn't happen when you get hit on the friggin' monitors, man.
I don't even know what you are saying when you say OLED, so we all don't know anything. And I'm
assuming, yeah, LED, but OLED specifically is a lot more stronger than, say, your normal LED lights. Do you know what I mean? So it really takes a lot.
Everything they do on the show is fake. So what?
I know, but some things look overly fake, like that with the screen. It was just dumb. But anyway, who cares? It's just a nitpick anyway. But let's move on to the main event, guys. It is Jey Uso, or should I say, main event Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens in a 25-minute barn burner, as Kevin Owens ends up winning by pinfall via the stunner, as the Bloodline are stunned in an emotional sense while KO scrambles away, and that's the end of the show. Kev, what'd you think of this match? Great match for me. Just went way too long.
Yeah, way too long. I was like already getting close to tapping out. I already had this match too. And then once I get like 2 commercials, I'm like I miss parts of it. So look down on my phone. I don't look up in time. Like
yeah.
But it was very good. Kevin Owens needed a win too after what they did. It fits for the storyline.
Oh, for sure. Jeff, what do you think?
I agree with everything that he said. I have nothing to add.
Well, geez, my stomach is rumbling. Well, look, like I said, there's not much really to say other than it was a great match for television, that's for sure. For whatever reason, they pretty much got 30 minutes. I don't know why. But
4 commercial breaks.
4.
Yeah,
wow.
See, and it takes you out of the match, man. Like
Kevin was saying. Entrances.
Okay.
And they went straight to commercial right at the start of the entrances too.
You have to remember the first hour had no commercials, so they had more commercials in the second 2 hours.
Right, for sure. No, you're right.
Why did they do a commercial-free first hour for that hour? It's not like anything special happened.
I don't know.
It was a good hour though, Jeff. Well, me and Kev felt that way anyway.
I didn't think it was a particularly good hour, but it wasn't exceptional. I mean, it's not like there was any major announcement. It's not like there was a title match. It wasn't even, unless you consider the OC versus Judgment Day a major feud, there wasn't even, dealing with a major feud.
Well, Jeff, like you're saying that Raw's lacking star power, so just not having those commercial breaks would pads the numbers a little bit. More people are watching the first hour. Might be a thing for the network, possibly.
Yeah. People leave at 9:00 to tune into Monday Night Football, and so they just want to get that 2 million people in the first hour, because when they go down to 1.6 or 1.5, it'll even out at 1.72 or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe. By the way, Rampage's numbers came out for Friday at 4 was 411,000. And SmackDown, I've seen both 2,066 and 2,166, which is the difference of one number and 100,000. So I'm not sure which is correct.
That was on Fox Sports, right, last week?
Yes.
Rampage
back
was on
on-
at like 5 p.m. for me. It was weird.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, was it 4 p.m.? Yeah, I watched it. I
4
caught the end of it like accidentally. I didn't even realize it was on.
Same here, me too. I actually watched it by accident, not realizing that it was on early. I got a notification on my
It was a day off for
phone.
most of us, so I don't think the change of time hurt them. I think it actually helped because
It did, actually did. Weird.
if you're kids, or whatever, you're young, and for sort of before you have your family obligations, even on Thanksgiving weekend.
So you're saying, Jeff, that Rampage actually beat out SmackDown in the ratings?
No.
Oh, sorry.
411,000 versus 2 million, either 66,000 or 2,166,000.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's a
I thought you said
fairly,
2,100. I'm like, what?
That's like a difference of 5 times. I mean, it did like 20 times the number.
So even on Fox Sports, they managed to get in the millions.
Yeah, that's the amazing
That's
thing. 'Cause
surprising,
it was like
right.
on FS2 or some shit like that. It wasn't even like
Damn.
FS1.
Jimmy, he said 1,000, but it was a slip of the tongue. I knew what he was saying. The million, 2.1 or 2.
Oh, well, I was talking
Yeah,
about the 66,000. I mean, the 2 points.
sorry.
Was it 66,000 or 166,000?
I misunderstood it. That's why I'm like, hang on a minute. Rampage beat.
And
SmackDown?
I haven't found Impact or New Japan yet. It hasn't been reported just yet.
Oh, you
And I haven't
take a
seen
while
it.
to find it.
Impact wasn't on this week.
It
They said
wasn't?
Impact Overdrive.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Well, nobody's watched. Though Impact got a deal with DAZN, so I guess they'll be theoretically in 137 countries or something like that, which people are lauding as a big deal. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
It's very
know.
cheap.
Yeah, they're very
DAZN only
cheap.
costs $2, dude, to subscribe down here. $2.
Right. So they probably get something like 2 pennies per subscriber per month, but I guess it's more money and more exposure. I don't think it's really going to do much. I think people making a bigger deal of it. I mean, there's like no streaming services that make money.
Who cares? Impact, they're just somehow still surviving. It is what it is. But guys, I think we can take it home. It was a bit of a long show. Now, I'm not talking about our show. We went the usual time. I mean, but like I said, I don't think there's really much to really say about the main event. I mean, before we go, is there
I'm
anything?
just showing for Dollar Club Wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I got to get you that PNG file, man, because Jeff wanted to get a, what do you call it as well? A PWC
I'll put it on
one
both
X?
sites, on TeePublic and on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Oh, thank you, dude, for sure. That'll be
Maybe
awesome.
he'll get it to you before he gets me my 3 shows he's holding hostage.
Oh, yes, that's true. Well, Kev, tell them where they can find you, man.
Everybody go on YouTube and follow Dollar Club Wrestling, or follow my personal stuff at Panetta Sexy Time. Go on TeePublic or ProWrestlingTees.com and buy some Dollar Club Wrestling merchandise. I'm also a part of AXW Wrestling now, American Excellence Wrestling. Kevin Kelly's running it now. So he's got a lot of big changes. Come, you can buy tickets at axw.tix.com. We're going to have a vendor table, and I am there as Uncle Slam, a wrestler. And Jeff Lipman's going to be at the next show, January 7th, right there. So they're going to have some PWC stuff there. If you guys want to bring some flyers, we have like our own QR code on our table too for Dollar Club Wrestling. We're there as Dollar Club Wrestling, and I'm there solo with Uncle Slam. Rockhard Jim Premier will be there. So give us a follow on all social media, Dollar Club Wrestling or
The
Panetta
beautiful
Sexy
La
Time.
Sicaria.
And La Sicaria is going to be there.
What about Junior Sicario?
Yeah, Juventud Sicario will be there.
Oh, awesome.
And they clobber him over the head with a turnbuckle, put him under the ring.
Anything else you need to say, Kev?
Nah, but Juventud was a potential person we could have brought in. We were asked if we wanted to bring him in.
Should. Maybe it'll be good for him, actually, Jeff.
I don't think we'd make money on it, though, so I probably won't.
I think you meant Juventud Guerrero.
Yeah.
He actually meant real
Jules.
Juventud.
Real Hoovy.
You promise Juventud, and everyone comes for Juventud Guerrero, and they get Juventud Sicario.
Oh, man. Oh, and just quietly, Jeff, give a shout outs to La Sicaria. Unfortunately, Ecuador lost this morning, my time. But I was watching that game. But I think they're still through, though, to the next round.
Yeah, they have enough points. But yeah, they lost to Senegal. Believe me, I heard all about it all day long.
Is she actually a soccer fan for real?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like her even more now, Jeff. Oh, look. You're the honorary Oos of the Dollar Club.
Damn right.
Right.
Well, Jeff, tell them where they can find you, man.
when I'm not feeling oozy with the Dollar Club, I'm here on the PWC and the places we cross-pollinate, which is up in the Humming Media Group and Channel Attitude. I'm also on the Wrestling Soup Network, and my other wrestling podcast that doesn't involve people you're looking at right now is Hammerlock Hangover with Big Daddy Cool Steve Pena. That comes out bi-weekly. We recorded that last week, so this is an off week. And my non-wrestling podcast, which you can find pretty much everywhere we've talked about, and all those places the PWC is, PW Hustle, you name it, Garden of Doom and Garden Views. Garden of Doom is very eclectic. This week it's Who Are the Huns? Last week it's what were the shamanic origins of the 5 major religions? And one week it might be, dragons or gargoyles or talking about Battlestar Galactica. So, a whole lot of stuff there, interviews with witches and warlocks and all sorts of fun stuff. And Garden Views tends to be more topical. And I think it's fair to say I'm a little bit obsessed with space law and what space law will be, so there's a lot of that on there. So if you're curious about that and similar kinds of niche areas of legalese which may apply to your life, Garden Views just may be for you.
Brilliant. Awesome. If you want to follow me, you can on Twitter at the PWC Network and also at DJ MassFX. Please like and subscribe right here at the PWCNetwork.podbean.com, where you can get all our shows. Also channelattitude.com, HameenMediaGroup.podbean.com, Dollar Club Wrestling, the PW Hustle, and everywhere we're affiliated with. In saying that, I think we're out, boys. I'm Jimmy T. That's Sexy Tom Kevin Panetta. That's the evilly replaced Jeff Lippman, and you've been listening and watching the PWC Monday Night Machismo, and we're out. See yous.
Stay evil, my friends.
Since day one, everybody's had a problem with me. And why is that? One simple word: jealousy. Because everybody wants to be Austin Theory. That's right, everybody wants to be Austin Theory. And all of you see the inevitable. I'm younger, I'm stronger, I'm better, and I am the unescapable. And the Austin Theory era begins now!
Theory, you may have lucked your way into that United States Championship on Saturday, but that doesn't change a damn thing. Because you know, deep down in your soul, that Monday nights belong to me. One thing left to say to you. Congratulations. Kid. Oh, what's the matter? You don't like that? You want to hit me? You want to fight me? Well, we ain't got to wait. We can do it right here, right now. Give me your best shot, kid.
Fight you, but on the champ's time. And I'm not your damn kid.